Hi, I've been watching YouTube cooking videos for years, and I finally decided, you know what? I think I can do that. And at the same time, answer the number one question in my house each day. Dad, what's for dinner? Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I got another simple one for you tonight. Dorito casserole. Really easy to make. Should hopefully come together in about 30 minutes. Then we pop it in the oven and bake it for about 45 minutes and serve it up. List of ingredients is pretty simple. Ground beef. I'm using 90/10. I want the reduced fat for this one so I can kind of make it all at one time. Half of a chopped up sweet onion. I've got a chopped up green onion. Cup and a half of salsa, our taco seasoning, a cup of sour cream, uh, a whole bag of Doritos, and then a mix of Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese, about 2 cups, maybe three, and then just a little bit of oil that we'll put in the pan to get things going. So the first step is going to be to get our onions going and then brown our ground beef. Then we'll mix in most of the other ingredients here, minus the sour cream. And then we'll layer it all in a casserole dish and get it in the oven. Let's get moving. Okay, so I'm going to start out by putting just a little bit of oil in the pan, maybe a teaspoon. You don't need very much. I'm going to use that to get our onions going. Like I said, this is half of a cut up sweet onion. I diced it fairly fine. We'll just get that in. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and get the onion sauteing. And we'll let these go for just a minute, and then we will start doing the ground beef. Okay, now that my onions have a little bit of a head start, I'm going to just go ahead here and add a pound of ground beef. Like I said, this is I went with 90/10 for this one, just to have the reduced fat. Because we're adding so many other seasonings and stuff like that, we don't need to rely on the fat in the ground beef to provide us extra flavor. So we'll get that in, get it chopped up and browned, and then I'll bring you back for adding the rest of the pieces of the recipe. Now that we've got our ground beef browned up, you can see all the pink's gone out of there. We're just going to move on and add a couple of these remaining ingredients. The first one's just going to be our taco seasoning. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, and then a cup and a half of, this is just regular, jarred salsa, nothing special. Throw that in. Okay, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of cheese to this mix as well. And this is our Monterey Jack cheddar mix. Just grabbed a couple of blocks of those and shredded them up here. And we'll kind of incorporate this. This will give us a little stick together factor. Okay. Now that that's all kind of coming together, what I want to do is shut my heat off, because the final step of getting this mixture put together before we put it in the casserole dish is going to be to add our sour cream. So we want this to just come down a little bit in temperature before we add that sour cream, so it doesn't get all kind of clumped up and messy in there. Looks good. I'm going to just grab a little spatula here. We'll grab our 1 cup of sour cream. Okay, and once this is incorporated, we'll have our mixture that's going to go in our casserole. So let me finish this up. I'll get the casserole dish ready, and we'll just show you how it all comes together. Okay, we've got our beef mixture ready to go here. That's all kind of mixed together. That looks good. And so we'll move into actually building the casserole at this point. So we're going to do this in a couple layers. We're going to put about a third of the Doritos on the bottom of the pan. We'll cover that with a third of the cheese, and then we'll use half of the beef mixture on top of the cheese, and then repeat another layer of Doritos, another third of the cheese, the rest of our meat mixture, finish off with the remaining Doritos and the remaining cheese on top, get it in the oven. We're good to go. Before we start any of that, though, let's give our pan a little nonstick spray just to help out with cleanup in the ends. So this is about I think it was a 9 3/4 ounce pack of Doritos. So, just your standard size Dorito bag in the chip aisle. And you want to break these chips up. You don't want to go crazy. You don't want them powder. You want them to have a little bit of substance to them. And just get a good layer here on the bottom of our casserole dish. That looks good. Okay. And then we want to use about 1/3 of this cheese. Now, I layer it this way with the cheese on top of the Doritos. It's going to act as a little bit of a barrier here, and keep them from getting squishy. So we still have a little crispiness when we pull this out of the oven. So just layer that cheese in there. And again, you want to use about 1/3 of your pile. That looks about right. Everything is covered. And then we're going to put half of our beef mixture on top of this. So just kind of eyeball it. I think that looks about right. And then just kind of spread it around here. Get a nice even layer. Okay. I know that happened really fast. You may have missed it. So we'll run that process all over again. Okay. And now we'll just do the remaining Doritos on top. Okay. And the rest of our cheese. Now, here in my house, my daughter's not a big fan of big cheese on the top of casseroles. So when I do this, I usually just cover only about half of it with the remaining cheese. That way she's happy and everyone else in the house is happy. Okay. And that's it. The casserole is all together. I'm going to cover this with some tin foil. I've got the oven preheating to 375 degrees. Once that hits temp, we'll put this in for about 30 minutes. After that, we'll pull the tin foil off and we'll bake it for another 10 to 15. And we're good to go. You'll have the answer to the number one question in my house. Dad, what's for dinner? Dorito casserole.
Okay, so after 30 minutes in the oven covered and then 15 minutes uncovered, here's what we have. This is our finished Dorito casserole, a little bit of garnish on top. Here in our house, we like to serve this with other fixings, just like a regular taco bar, some salsa sour cream, some black olives, tomatoes, some finely cut shredded lettuce, and cheddar cheese. And there you have it. The answer to Dad, what's for dinner? Doritos casserole. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.